Welcome to the channel, welcome to the carport, because we've got a big job to do for the carport today. We're doing some workshop infrastructure. We're panelling in this side, because we're having a bit of a problem, which I'll show you in a minute, with the Scirocco. It parks normally in here, and I'm getting a little bit of mould coming through the body kit, because I can slope into the weather, and just this front edge here just holds a little bit of water all the time. So there's two parts to this. One, we're going to put a garage door on it, but for now, just need to panel this in. Now, a couple of things I've already done. I've got a load of the 2.4 metre, that cheap timber you get from B&Q's, the 2B3. That's gone up in price, that as it used to be £3.20 a length, it's now £4.20 a length, so that was a bit of a shock. And I've got 15 of those. I'll go through why I've got so many in a second. But they've already been pre-painted, so he's had 2 coats of emulsion and a top coat of gloss to protect it. It had to be done before I could cut it in, before I cut it down, place it in place. Again, we'll look at that in a minute. Didn't really film that. If you want to see me doing some painting, here's a quick run through of some of it. If you won't, jump forward 30 seconds. Yeah, fascinating. Anyway, that's all cool. That's all done. It's going to be panelled in with roofing sheets. These are a metre deep, 1.5 metres long, so I could cut them down because these are all different openings. And I'll use the cut-offs to fill this little piece at the back here, as well as some bits above the fence line. I bought this rather than the corrugated stuff because it'll fit quite nicely, and I'll show you how nice it's going to fit. Now, let's move you around a little bit. A number of ways I could panel these in. The easiest way to do it is to put a batter at the top, one in the middle, one at the bottom, and then just screw this panel to it against the inside. Didn't want to do that because you can't get to the outside for maintenance. I was worried that if it got rotten or it started getting damp or mold going on, it won't be able to get to it to clean it. Add to that, in future, I'm going to be, let's have a quick shuffle around here. I did a garage door to this end, and I want the option to be able to brace back at least to here, just to brace that moving, open up a door in the future. I can't do that if I've got plastic sheets in the way. So, the plan is to build an inset piece, a frame, put the panel on the outside so I can screw it in because I can't get behind it to screw the panel in. We'll have the whole thing in, and that'll be. That's what I'm looking at doing. It'll have about 4-inch gap, 125 gap at the top, and there'll be a little bit of a gap at the top to allow airflow to go through, which I do need because I don't want this getting damp in here because the car's in here. And yeah, so we'll do 3. Add to that, because I've got a lot extra bracing across. Extra lateral strength for when the garage door does get fitted, because this was never built to have a garage door fit, so I'm sort of retrofitting it. So that's the initial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how it's going to fit together. So I'll grab the camera in a second. I'll grab a bit of an offcut from the 3B2, and I'll show you how well it's going to fit. Okay, so if you imagine this is eventually go on this side of the frame, goes on, there'll be a little gap at this side. So if I slide this over, what we've got there is a nice little 10mm gap, so when this goes in with the sheet on it, the outside is going to be completely flush, which will make it look quite nice from the other side. Add to that, I've bought opaque panelling as well, so it'll look like a white wall running through. So that's the plan. I just need to start measuring up and start cutting. Oh, one more thing while we're going for hardware and stuff. I'm still going to use what you'd normally use for corrugated roofing. To seal the drill 3 points in. I bought a pack of these off eBay. I can't remember how much I paid for them, but I think I bought 100 of each, so it should be more than enough. So I've got the screws and these little plastic caps that kick over and seal that in. For attaching the whole thing together, went to B&Q's pick and mix aisle and bought these 80mm screws. Should be enough. on one side to get as many in here as possible, because it's pick and mix and you get paid by the bag, not the weight. I started trying to get them in and then screwing in the screws against each other so I can get more in the bag. So I don't know if I've got enough, but it should have enough to have a damn good start at it. Right, let's relocate this and start cleaning up and getting ready to start cutting this timber down. When I was sweeping up over there, I found this stuck between the fence lines. Between the radio 261. If you're in Manchester in the UK, you'll know what this is of a certain age. I have to keep that and clean it up. Anyway, you might also notice there's a hole in my fence against my neighbour's house. That's the gas meter, so I need to create a panel for that can slide back and forward. I'm not sure which panel it's going to be yet. I think it's the far one. It's the easiest one. That's what I normally look through when I'm checking for it. So I'm going to panel this one in, and then the phone, the cross braces, that's going to have I'm not sure yet, maybe a sliding panel. So until I have it open, I can still seal this in, stop the cats getting in here. And then whatever's left over, right at the end, there's a little gap about that far to the fence line on my sheddies, and I'll just make that up with whatever bits pieces I'm knocking over. We've got some offcuts from the sheets, and we'll use those to just panel that in as well. I might do a few at the top here as well, but we'll get to that. The first thing is to get the first panel done, so we know what I'm doing. Get it lifted in, get it screwed in, so we know what we're looking at. Yeah. Well, first, I think it's time for a brew. Okay, so I'm going to do the vertical parts first. So I need 6 of those, but to work out the length of this, because I want, if I show it here, I want it to go sort of this way. So I'm drilling down, that'll push one of the posts, and then that'll give me enough bite there and allow me to cover all the exposed ends that are cut as well. So in order to do that, I've measured the sheet. They're a little bit smaller than I thought they were. So the overall length is going to be 1.96 meters. To make it a bit easy for myself, I'm going to need one of those top bottom. I'm going to use a block. Like that. We can then measure 1.96. So I'm already taking into account the top and bottom battens. Oops. Six. Let's add a little bit on that. And now I've got one of them done. I'll use this one as the base for the others. So look at this one. I'm just going to start with this one. It's the easy one to start with. I measured the top, measured the bottom patterns. The bottom one's just is about 3 or 4 mil narrower than the top ones. So I'm going to make that the same when I cut it. Hopefully that means when it goes in, we shouldn't have too much of a problem. And I'll cut the panels to the narrower one because you're not going to see it from the inside. So, and we've got enough timber to cover any gap because we've got 2 inches there. So I'm going to measure those up, chop those, and we'll set a frame out and start screwing it together. Okay, so done the frame. That's the top. Yeah, that's the top, that's the bottom. I'm just going to go around, counter drill all the corners, put a couple of screws in each one. I'm going to lift it, put it in place, make sure it fits there and thereabouts. If I knock it in, that's not a problem. Take it out, we'll set the batten in, and then we'll put the panel on, and it's ready to go in. So hopefully the next thing you'll see is me screwing the middle bit in, and I'm putting the panels on. No, we'll show you putting show it up, just to offer it up, make sure it does fit. Back it's at the top. I've got a screw there that won't go bloody in, so I'm just gonna cut that one off because I've got another one in there. But as you can see, it fits nice and snug. So I'm going to cut the second piece in. I'll just do that off camera, screw that one in, cut that top of that screw off because it's got plenty of bite. And then we'll get it down and we'll start fitting the panels. Okay, I've got the two panels on, upside down. That's the piece that needs to come off, and there's a protective plastic that needs to go off it. But I forgot, if you look, got a bit of an overhang. So what I think I'm going to do is strike it with a marker pen, get my jigsaw out, and see if we can just trim the edge off that, because I'll have to do the same for the other two panels as well. And then we can take this off, plastic off, and well, at least we can pull it back a little bit, can't we, all the edges before while I'm drilling through. And then we can get this attached properly. So we'll counter drill a hole and then screw the other one in. Yeah, we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. I think once I get the first panel done, I'll just do the second one, and then we'll do that tricky third one. I'll show you how I've done that. So let's get the jigsaw. Mark it on the top. There we go. Slide these over. So, worked a treat, not the cleanest of jobs. These little pockets, they try and pull the blade in. So this one's a bit straighter. This one, as you can see on the off-core, really pulled across, but there should be enough meat on both sides to drill this in without a problem at all. Right, let's get the panels drilled in, take the plastic wrapper off, get the first one mounted up. Not lying, my back's killing me. I'm only going one panel around. I'm going to lift that in, get it screwed in, and hopefully it'll look quite good. What do we think? First paneling, it's a bit mucky, it needs a wash down, but it's fitting alright, eh? So this part way. You can see how it's gonna panel that side in. Right, that's the first one. Bit tricky getting some of these panels to cut in. My back's killing me from putting all the screws on the floor, but I'm gonna hit the second one. I won't do that on video because it's just repeat the first one, and then we'll knock together the third, then narrow one that has the hole cut in to get into the gas meter. First though, I need a drink. Another cup of tea, Coke. Right, I'll get back on, get the second one in. Next video you're going to see is the second panel in place. Second panel in, took about an hour. Much easier than the first one. You might have noticed the gap at the top's gone. I consulted with the other workshop owners on the street who came over to see what I was doing, and they both agreed that the gap should be at the bottom, which I can close off, and then we're going to close the gap at the top. We can still get air through because obviously it's corrugated roof. So yeah, it's now time to do that last one. Now so I'm going to panel that together, and then we'll go through how I'm going to get to the gas meter. Let me just show you a bit close. So I've got to get to this gas meter that's here. Now this hopefully opens that way, so I can get through to it this way, take a picture of it for her. So what I'm going to do is, it's only until you've got a bar that goes across there and one across the bottom. I'll take a slice down it, I think, about 2/3, and I'll think of what I'm going to do with that. I might use some of this paneling that's left over, because I'll have to cut that out, and do a piece that just clicks in. I'm not sure how best to do that, maybe with a hinge, or I might just make a door for that, because I've got some 10 mil ply, so I might make a door for that just to open it out, or I might do a slide. I don't know yet. I'll get around to that because I can always put the piece the other way. Yeah. But yeah, I need to take this brace out. This is no longer needed because there's all this bracing now, so I don't need this diagonal anymore like I would have done, because it's pretty well supported. And then whatever's left over from this stuff, this one's a short one, I might panel in a piece there, so I might hopefully have a spare piece. I've got 3 of these to put a piece in there, and just no one's going to hit that, just to offset it so it's nice and sealed at the end as well. So yeah, I'm getting there. Right. Run that one together, because you don't need to see me doing the same thing again. And then when I get to the point about the access, we'll start wondering what we're going to do with that. Done. Even put a little bit of a door in there. We'll go and have a quick look at it in a minute. So for the gas meter, I did this arrangement. Get to it and slide it back. I think that'll do for now. You've had enough just to make a bit of a makeup piece there. I need to have a serious tidy up. That is all the wastage. Unfortunately, I could have used less wastage. I'll show you how, but I wanted to, it was more time efficient to do that than try and use as much as possible. So it was possible. I've used full battens running down to make it easy to make the frame for it to go up and in, but it was possible to use the offcut from that piece to do that bit, and the same, which should have saved me, I don't know, 3 lengths. To be honest with you, 3 lengths, it's like 10-12 quid. I'd rather have the convenience and the ease, because I've got this done in an afternoon in about, I think it's about 4.5 hours, got all this done. I've been doing that faffing and the twisting as I'm trying to screw it together. I'm to screw at 45 degrees to get the thing to hold together. It would have taken much longer. So yeah, we'll have a tidy up, and then we'll have a last look, because I'm going to wash this down, because as you can see, it's a bit mucky, because when I took the cover off, it's all obviously statically charged, and it's just attracted everything. So I'll have a tidy up, then we'll have a final look. Oh, you know me and my Ferrex stuff. This is all the gear I used. The impact drill, that was essential for getting this done, just to drive those screws in, because obviously even countersinking and initially drilling all of the holes, you don't go deep enough to get some of the long screws into all together. So that was essential. That did go. The 20 volt battery just started to go after I'd done about 2/3, but I think a 40 volt would have done the whole job. Obviously I've used the angle grinder to cut some of the screw heads off, the old ones that were stuck in there, and that's done all the pilot hole drilling for the whole lot on a battery. So really impressed with it all. Right, let's get this tidied up. You see, all complete, really happy with it. Even incorporated a sliding panel so I can get to my neighbour's gas meters, so it reads off for them. But yeah, it's looking starting really well. Sort of initially, I picked all the panels up. When I bought the panels originally, I thought they were 1 metre, turned out they were 98 centimetres, which meant I was 4 inches short at the top. So I picked it all up, and I think it looks much better. I've got a bit of a gap at the bottom, which is my panelling, but it's just gonna help me be able to do things in this space a bit more, particularly if it's raining, it's not blowing in through the sides, and it's also going to keep my Scirocco much better weather protected, because there was a bit of a mould coming through on some other videos I've been cleaning it. That should stop that, because no water can get through and sit on the car, particularly in that little groove where the body kit sits. So I'm going to fix that. But yeah, I must have had a thoroughly enjoyable afternoon, even if it was tiring. My back's aching from bending over and putting all those screws in. But this is one of the first parts of this build. I do need to do some other bits and pieces, which I'm going to flip around and show you. So next thing I need to do is just sort of panel this top piece in. I might use some trellis just to fill it in, stop cats and things getting through. I do want airflow to go through that. But yeah, I'm just but yeah, you can see the carport from all the way over here. It just look, oh Finn. It's just going to make a much better space for building stuff in as well, not annoying the neighbours as much. And eventually, hopefully next year we'll get an up and over door which will go in here, which will create another frame across here, and I can brace it back and things like that. But for now, the carport sided in. A job I've been looking at doing for way too long. And now it's finally done. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll be able to build some more projects in this space, particularly over winter. And I need to get some lighting as well, and power points. So anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Cheers.